Usually I know what to expect when I talk to a person, but he walked in the studio, and I can't tell if this is 7 o'clock in the morning, don't give me any trouble, or this is 7 o'clock in the morning, I just woke up, or this is 7 o'clock in the morning, I am ready for the WWE Battleground.
Maybe you're just getting wrestler attitude, I don't know.
I don't know. Rob Van Dam has come into the studio with his 5-star frog slash, and I don't know how to interpret you yet.
You thought that I was going to come in and start throwing furniture around and obviously reshape this frying pan you gave me with last night's dinner in it.
Here's the thing. The first thing you did is hurt my feelings by saying my jacuzzi didn't have enough jets. It hurt.
Sorry, I know a little bit about other things besides wrestling.
Okay,
it looks pretty. It's shaped nicely.
Heart shape. It says love.
It could say that to some people.
So, RVD in Buffalo, you've been here before.
Yes, I have. In fact, this is a very famous town for me because I won the ECW television title here many years ago when I fought Bam Bam Bigelow at the Burt Flinger Center.
Yeah, the Burt Flickinger Center.
And however you say it.
Yeah.
Like you said it.
When the Burt Flickinger Center, when that happened, was that unexpected?
I can't imagine everybody expected that. Everyone's got different expectations. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But for me, I didn't really understand what it meant. I think that was 98, and that was a point where I didn't really know what to expect in superstardom. I was on the rise in my career, and after I beat Bam Bam Bigelow, it was the next show that Paul Heyman, who was the promoter, the owner of ECW, told me that it doesn't matter what you do tonight, these people are going to love you. And I didn't really know what he meant until I went out there. And that was actually the first, on the level that I have now, that was the first step towards going out there and seeing all the people chanting my name, bringing signs, doing my thumbs, which you don't know what that means probably. Do you know what doing the thumbs means?
Teach me your thumbs.
It's Rob Van Dam.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rob Van Dam.
Or my initials RVD.
RVD.
There you go.
I want to learn the 5-star finger frog slash.
Okay, you screwed that up better than I did the Burt.
I did. All right, so talk to me about, because you guys, everyone in the studio knows, you guys know the 5-star frog slash, right?
Splash.
Yeah,
They know it.
They do.
Normal people know it.
I know they do. Well, there's a lot going on in your matches. It's and it's just
there is, but the 5-star frog splash is usually what
Splash.
That's right. Because I do moves that are different. Just like you notice that my attitude is different. I'm the most laid back, balanced wrestler that you'll ever meet.
You're gonna go with balance?
Polite.
People know that. Yeah. People say that.
They say you're balanced?
Yes, they do.
I don't. I think you're a little under.
And I have.
Okay.
I have always done moves that I haven't seen anybody else do, and that's part of what put me at the level that I'm at. That's what gained me my fan base. Mm-hmm. Instead of trying to take other wrestlers' moves, like, hey, I think I could do that guy's move, I've always been like, I wonder if I can jump up and do a split in the air and land across the top rope on my legs and do a backflip from there. I was always doing moves that I saw up in my brain first and visualized. It's part of the balance of RVD. So with the 5-star frog splash, there you go. You're getting. You catch on quick.
I do.
Can I break this over your head?
Can you bend that in half seriously? Do you guys want to see him bend this pan in half? Do you guys want to see that? Yeah.
Does that have to be exactly in half?
Whatever.
Oh, look at the science right
like
there.
Superman.
You did not just do that.
I feel like Superman
Let me see.
now, like in that
Look at
Superman
you.
movie.
Oh, that was pretty good.
Awesome.
Is that hard to
turn that
do?
to the
You can still cook fajitas with it. Perfect. So with the 5-star frog splash, it's my what we call finishing move. Although I have several. I have the Rolling Thunder. We said the split leg moonsault, the Van Daminator, the Van Terminator. These are all original moves.
Making me so excited for this battleground.
A lot of wrestlers do a splash off the top rope. It's been done for years. So how do you make it different? Well, first off, if you can go higher and further than anybody else, you're going to get noticed. I can hit my opponent anywhere in the ring from any corner. I often go to the furthest corner just to make it more challenging. But on top of that, I can turn in midair. 180 degrees this way, that way. It's kind of crazy, but it's the control I have, and I'm a show off, and I'm out there to show what I got.
Flat-footed do you land, or do you land on the balls?
I land on the guy. I land on my opponent. That's what makes it a splash, is you kick your legs and your arms out, You come down with the full impact of your body on his body. And I've won a lot of world championship titles with the 5-star frog
What kind of height do you get when you leap off? Do you ever measure that?
No, I've never measured it. You know, I mean, you'd have to, they often freeze frame it, and you can see I'm way up there.
That's sick.
Wow.
Yeah, you got to figure the corner post is probably like 4 feet. I don't know. I'd
You're
have to
up high.
give you a guesstimate. Definitely up there. No one gets higher than RVD.
Is there any way to get out of that? Like, what if the guy just moves this way?
That is a good, it's all about timing. I can't just go for it at the beginning of the match.
Sure.
Otherwise, all my matches would be like 4 or 5 seconds long.
Wouldn't it be fun though if you just went
take
out
the
there and
winner's
like,
share of the
done.
purse.
Yeah.
That'd be a lot easier of a job for me.
You talked about hitting levels in your career, and you hit that level at the Burt Flickinger Center. What level are you at now, and where do you want to go? Because you talk about rising, but there's always room to move up.
Yeah.
There always is. You know, I'm actually going for a world title coming up this Sunday at Battleground right here in Buffalo. And
Wait, do that again.
right here in Buffalo.
There we go.
And one maybe little known fact about RVD is that I've had more world championship titles than any other former world champion in WWE.
Really?
I can't even name them all to you, but I've been told, and this is by the fans, so I'm not 100% sure it's true, but they usually know what they're talking about, that this title that I'm going for is one that's eluded me. Maybe the only title that I haven't had in WWE in my
So this is a
career.
very meaningful event on Sunday night.
Yes, it is. And besides, they put this match in my favor by making it a hardcore rules match, which I love. So I'm all about that. Absolutely. As I've explained, I like to use my imagination and think outside of the box when I approach my matches. So in hardcore rules, it means you throw the rule book out and you just use your imagination. You do whatever comes to mind. So now, if I could bring a chair in the ring, now there's a whole another book of moves that I haven't seen done before. Have you ever seen anybody run and jump in the air and put the chair under their feet like they're riding a skateboard and kick that into their opponent's face?
Not today.
Not unless you're
are you
sitting
kidding
around.
me? You cannot.
I love doing that
That's
stuff.
crazy.
My Van Terminator is a move that impresses a lot of people because my opponent will be in one corner, sitting on the mat, you know, knocked out, and I jump from the opposite side of the ring and clear the entire space of the ring to deliver 2 feet to his face, usually to a chair.
Ooh.
Usually, sometimes I bring the chair with me and jump through the air and then put the chair under my feet and then kick it into my opponent's face, clearing the entire space of the ring. I love doing stuff like that.
Do you
Like I
end
said,
with?
I'm a show off.
You said it was the Van Terminator. Do you end with "I'll be back"?
No, I haven't yet,
Funny.
but yeah, that would
Please
be funny.
do that.
I'm gonna keep that in mind,
Please, I'll be standing right
You'll
there. I'll be
know.
like, RVD did it.
and you'll know it's for you.
Yeah, you see, I think it would be perfect. When you win this belt
Yes.
on Sunday,
Yes.
will you put
Right
it?
here in Buffalo.
Thank you. Will you put it on? Will it go over your shoulder? What's going to
Shoulder.
happen?
Shoulder. The only time I ever actually put the belt on my waist is when I have 2 championship belts, which throughout my career I've done plenty of times. I've had the tag team belt and the TV belt at the same time.
Wow.
I've had the ECW and the WWE titles at the same time. There's been other times, and I think it's very impressive when I put it on my waist and put the other one above it on my waist, and I walk around like man-at-arms, like I have armor on. Otherwise, it goes
I
on my
agree.
shoulder.
There's got to be somebody that you really cannot stand in the WWE. Somebody that you just want to take away every belt they have.
Well,
Somebody that doesn't deserve to be in the same ring with you.
I don't know if I'm vain enough to say nobody deserves to be in the same ring as me, but right now my focus is on Alberto Del Rio. He's the current world champion, and I'm really looking forward to getting in the ring and taking that title from him.
Online, fans are saying that you're going to take this on Sunday.
I have a lot of fans. I have a lot of fan support. They've been watching me for decades. I've been doing this a long, long time, and I don't have that AGE factor that a lot of other wrestlers get.
Some people suffer from that. You don't.
Well, I've heard that and I've seen it on other people, but I can honestly say there's nothing that I could do before that I can't do right now.
Vitamins and vegetables, what keeps you so young?
My mom had me on vitamins my whole life. Like, I would wake up and she'd have them waiting on the breakfast table for me. She started me in a very good, healthy regimen as early as I can remember eating breakfast. Stretching is my key to longevity in my career. And a lot of wrestlers don't stretch the way, actually no one stretches as much as I do. I'm known for that behind the scenes as part of my insurance factor getting ready for matches. I'll stretch for an hour if I have enough
Really?
time. Yeah, it's part
So
of,
you'll work out first and then stretch.
it's part of my martial arts background. That's what really, I guess, made it sink in and become part of my daily maintenance. And you know, the fact that I go out there and do all these extreme hardcore moves, I dive over the guardrail into the crowd, or you know, moonsault onto the floor, hit chairs, I don't get injured. And I've always said I'm a lot tougher than those other guys, and I've proved it by duration. And I attribute, besides just having good genetics, I attribute it to my stretch routine.
What advice do you have for little guys that are listening right now that are huge fans of yours, and maybe they set up a living room in Kenmore, New York as their own wrestling ring, and they want to jump off a couch or something? You don't want them to get hurt. What advice do you have for those guys?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel predispositioned to say don't try this at home.
Sure.
But to be honest,
Okay.
I kind of started that way. But I wasn't as young as some of these guys are starting out now, you know. And there was no such thing as backyard wrestling then, which I don't hear about lately. Maybe it's already come and gone. But there was a fad for a while where people were smashing light bulbs over their heads. That's not wrestling. No. And that's not something that they've seen me do and have emulated me. You know, they haven't got that from me. But when I was in high school and I knew that I was going to be a wrestler, I told everybody that was my path. That's what I was going to do. We would do the same thing. We would move the couches out when we had a kid, Robert. His mom would go to bingo on Monday night.
Right.
We'd watch wrestling.
So it's like Monday Night Wrestling.
At the Robert Dome. Right there at the Robert Dome.
The Robert Dome.
We would throw the cushions on the floor. We'd be slamming each other, you know. And then
That's
eventually I found somebody that had a ring in their yard.
Come on.
It was like a dream come true. Well, he was a kickboxer and
awesome.
kickboxing promoter, and that's how I got into kickboxing, which at one point, around 90, 91, I thought I might be a professional kickboxer. I was knocking everybody out. I was obviously durable, and no one was knocking me out, and I was enjoying it, but I was doing that to supplement the wrestling, which I really wanted to do. But I found myself at a potential fork in the road if wrestling didn't work out. I entered a couple Tough Man contests. I got runner-up in the 1990 Kalamazoo Tough Man contest.
Nice.
Just turned 19
What
years old.
What is the hardest thing you had to do in the Tough Man contest? Because that's a crazy competition.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was young. I just turned 19 when I got in this, and I made it all the way to the main event. And the guy that I fought, it was his 24th contest he'd been in.
Wow.
This guy, Emmanuel Rodriguez, he wins like all the time. He goes around and just collects money. So just hanging with him was the toughest thing. He actually had a finishing move where he'd go to lock up with you, and he'd pull your head down into an uppercut, you know, which is kind of cheating. It's kind of dirty boxing.
Yeah, that's not cool.
But if the crowd loved it, then it was okay, which is why I kicked him in the face when you weren't supposed to kick to the head either.
It does happen. RVD in the studio with us, WWE Battleground Sunday at 7:30 First Niagara Center. Tickets on sale now. Now let's talk about some of these matches. Daniel Bryan, Randy Orton for the vacant WWE Championship. Thoughts?
Yes, this is a very anticipated match. Two of the best wrestlers in the company right there, by far, in the world. And Randy Orton is a third generation, if not fourth. His dad, Cowboy Bob Orton, we watched him growing up.
That's crazy.
And Bob's dad was a wrestler. So, I mean, he was born into it. You know, he's got wrestling in his blood. And Daniel Bryan, oh my God, do the fans get behind this guy? They love him.
They do.
They love him.
What about CM Punk versus Ryback, and Paul Heyman's going to be in his corner?
Yeah, Paul Heyman's my guy. You know, I mean, he's the guy
You're really good friends with him, right?
Yeah. He's the guy that we were just talking about with the ECW.
Promoter.
You know, absolutely. He started the ECW. He developed a lot of us into superstars back in the day by discovering our strengths, you know, and seeing our potential, and you know, thank God for Paul. And CM Punk, another very popular wrestler, and Ryback is just huge. He's so big and so strong. I wrestled him a month or two ago, and afterwards I thought, man, you know, that's one of the strongest guys I've ever been in the ring with. We have so many of them in WWE right now. Like, we have to have 4 or 5 guys that are probably among the strongest men in the world. Ryback
Is it tougher to bring down a big guy, or like, you know?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So it's not like they're hard to move around the ring or something, but
I jumped. I'm like 240. I jumped off the ropes up and did a big arch into what we call a cross body. And Ryback caught me down at his feet, and then didn't even struggle to stand up, pick me up, and just throw me over his shoulder like I didn't weigh anything. pretty impressive.
The Divas Championship match. AJ Lee, Brie Bella. Did I hear right that Brie is jealous of AJ?
I couldn't verify her feelings on AJ. You know, you can watch her show on the Diva show, and learn a lot more about her and her twin sister. You know, AJ is a cutie. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Everyone should be jealous of her. But Brie is also a very good-looking girl. I mean, this is a Divas match where there's two very lovely ladies. So I'm just saying. You know, I'm
you
not.
guys all
not,
come out to watch that? Like,
of course
that's
they
a
do.
don't
They're
miss.
gorgeous.
No, come on.
Oh,
we watch
no.
the monitor in the back.
Of course.
I'm just saying, if guys like the lady wrestling, not just for their wrestling skills, but
Sure.
because they're good to look at,
Well,
because
that's
there are
a
two
plus.
girls that are very good to look at right here.
And they work out hard too. They're not.
Absolutely.
They're
probably
not
harder. I'd say, in some ways, harder because compared to their potential anyway, they're not as natural, women in general, as natural fighters as men. I think, you know, that we have that warrior spirit in us. It's we're the hunters, and you know, I mean, not to come across sexist, but I do think that it's usually harder work for the ladies. Same in MMA, you know, same in any kind of fighting sport. I think that it's harder work for them to get to a standard level.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because it's a guy sport, and they got
a guy thing to
work
do.
against that too.
Yeah, we have that competitive nature in us that they really don't.
Girls can be competitive too.
In their own way, in different ways.
I want to remind everybody, tickets are on sale. Tickets.com. They start at $25 for Battleground Sunday night.
Some of them start at $400. What do you get for $400? Did you get thrown in the ring? I get thrown down? It was sick. Do that.
We probably need a promoter here to verify that. But I know what they do a lot of times at the pay-per-views is that the more expensive seats, first off, you're up front, right? That's obvious. But you also get to take the chair with you a lot of times. And you get the chair.
We were wondering about that.
Yeah, it's a special chair. I would expect that to be in this, but I'm speaking without being educated on this.
We're giving those away, but my question was it just that somebody else didn't want to fold the chairs up and clean up afterwards?
Might be.
It's convenient,
and sometimes there's even like special packages where you get to go into a little VIP meeting the wrestlers and stuff like that.
What do the kids ask you? What do the fans ask you? And what do you autograph? What's that experience like when you get to?
Well, a lot of times they have the souvenir programs, you know, so that'll have a picture, a little bio, some information, some really cool pictures of RVD flying around the ring.
RVD.
Yeah, so
there's the thumbs.
Do a lot of signing those. Yes.
Does anyone ever pull your ponytail or try to hurt your hair?
It happens.
Yeah, doesn't that make you mad?
No, not so much. I mean, yes and no. I mean, I realize that coming into the ring with a ponytail is kind of a challenge to that. It's almost like saying, I dare you to pull my hair. You know what I mean? If I was going to be, say, a full-time mixed martial artist, I would probably shave my head bald for that reason. But with this, I can handle it. Pull my hair, I'll pop you in the face.
RVD in the studio with us. Of course, we've got tickets all day today on KISS 98.5. So getting ready for WWE Battleground, first time in 2 years. This is a special event. What are the main things that people should look for when they go to this on Sunday night?
Yeah, now Battleground is a pay-per-view that wasn't even around when I was in WWE earlier in my career before. So it's a newer pay-per-view that's getting a lot of momentum. And a lot of scores are going to be settled right here. You know, like I said, my match, obviously, I'm looking forward to the most, as are all the fans, obviously. It's RVD. But the hardcore rules is just... you can't make me happier than making it hardcore rules. If it was up to me, it would be hardcore rules every single night. And it was like that back in ECW. It was like the referee was there mostly just to make the 3 count. And besides that, you didn't have to worry about if you were out of the ring for 10 seconds or if you brought a chair in, or sometimes even if you had your partners come in and help you out, it didn't matter. It was all about the end result. So I have a huge advantage over Alberto Del Rio because he hasn't been in a hardcore rules match before.
Wow,
I've been in it.
So he's not creative like you would be.
Exactly, and I've been in it my whole career. This is where I became Rob Van Dam.
If you're going to bring like a chair in, or you're going to bring like the frying pan that you just curled up into a ball or something like that, where do you hide this stuff before you're going to bring it out, because if he sees what you're going to bring out, then he's going to be like, tell his people to go get that stuff too.
Right. Well, that's part of the strategy. It's not so much about bringing it out and hiding it. It's more like back in the day in ECW. By the way, the fans would hand you their chairs, which was awesome. There was
That's
a lot
helpful.
there was a lot of interaction.
Now we can take them home, so you can't. Sorry.
Right. That's true. They're not going to want to give them up as easily, but. You look around, look in the front row or under the ring. A lot of times, you throw what we call the apron. It's the skirt that hangs down off of the canvas. You throw that back and see what you can find under there. There's garbage cans, ladders, chairs, all kinds of goodies. And anything is good to go in a hardcore rules match.
Buffalo has been good luck for you before. I hope on Sunday night that your 5-star frog splash
There you go.
gets you your championship.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here.
Right on.
RVD on Kiss 98.5. Right now, caller 98-644-9850 goes down in front to see RVD win the championship, roll the frying pan, and win. It's Kiss 98.5.